So you're feeling behind in life because you compare your life to others? The question is, what do you want for your life? Everywhere we look, we are bombarded by success. Whatever your definition is of success or achievement, you will find it. Hi guys, welcome to my channel. My name is Shaw and welcome to my series Tragically Inattentive and Distracted, in other words, tired, where my little ADHD brain has a lot to talk about. So I'm just here talking about the things that I find intriguing on social media and in the world. Whatever your definition of success or achievement in this digital age, you will find it. And if you're constantly comparing yourself with whatever you find, you're always going to feel left behind in life. Sometimes, if you're like me, I catch myself thinking, these achievements or these successes that I see online that I compare myself or my life to, I wouldn't even want that. I wouldn't even like that. What's happening here? I wouldn't even like that. And most of the time, I'm not comparing myself to people that I know. I'm always comparing myself to people that I don't know. And it's just really bizarre. And I don't know if anyone else does it. So this could be embarrassing if everyone else doesn't do that. But if you're someone that does it, we're in this together. I'm not going to dive too deep into, comparing yourself to everything you see on social media, because ever since Instagram, we are very aware of the Instagramification of people's lives, the highlight reels, the aestheticness of it all. And we are aware, I think, because Instagram has been around for quite a while, that a lot of us are aware of how we're just seeing people's highlight reels and people's best moments. And I do think what happens is the comparison starts to be reframed in a different way, where we start to think, oh, I am so behind in life. Sometimes it's really hard to understand what that means, because society has evolved and changed so much that the definition of success feels as if it also changes and it evolves a lot more times than it used to. For me personally, I just feel like every 3 months I'm like, wow, I should have done that by now. And then the next 3 months I'm seeing something else and thinking, wow, I should have achieved that by now. Honestly, I couldn't give concrete examples because it doesn't even make sense anymore. Where I feel like back in the days it was get married, have children, have a house. But we all know how the economy is these days. Some of us don't want children. So those definitions of success and achievement are no longer relevant or no longer the most prominent. And so now there are so many different versions of success. I do think there is a sense where we do need to question, what does success look like to me and why do I keep comparing myself? But I don't want to go too deep into that because I think it's a conversation as old as time, but it's still very true and still valid. Our feelings are still valid in that conversation or in that moment of comparison, because it is very difficult when you are trying to take baby steps to better your future and to define your success and your achievements, and then you see someone take a giant step over you. It is hurtful, it is hard, it is difficult, and no matter how much you progress in maturity or progress in age, I do think it is very difficult emotion or feeling to sit with and to navigate. And so I just wanted to, honestly, as someone who is a recovering chronic comparer, sometimes I don't even know why I'm comparing myself to what I'm comparing myself to.
Why? Why?
I don't know, it just be happening. So as someone is a chronic comparer, these are the things that I'm learning to help me appreciate exactly where I am and to help me understand that, you know what, I actually am exactly where I want to be. It took me a long time to realize that I was my worst critic. People don't think about you as much as you think they think about you. We need to be very intentional about how we talk to ourselves. And that being said, another thing to help you is to take note of your own achievements, not societal achievements, not achievements you've seen online. Just write down things that you think are achievements, things that are unique to you. Write down those things that are so unique to you that you see as achievements. Like, I clipped my toenails today. No, I'm joking. No, don't. I mean, maybe that's an achievement for someone. For me is I recently started learning how to make coffee, and I understand what my grinder setting should be for what beans that I get. So by smelling the beans, by sometimes even touching the beans, I understand that, oh, I should try put my coffee grinder at this number so that my grinds come out this way. I understand how to do that. I've learned how to do that. I am practicing my coffee steaming methods, my latte art. I am so bad at it, you guys. But I know why I'm bad at it. I know what I'm doing wrong. I know how I'm supposed to fix it. So every single time I try and I still make a mistake, I understand why I made the mistake. And to me, that is an achievement. And then, like I said before, another thing is to watch how you speak to yourself. Be kind to yourself, be generous to yourself. I recently read a book, what's it called? It's called The Seeker of Nothing. So yeah, the quote from this book actually inspired the whole thought for this video, but especially this idea of watching how you speak to yourself. This quote is just so beautiful, in which it says, "It is but the force of your own negativity. These are the elements of the voice that keeps you from finding your magic. The voice that tells you to give up, the voice that says you do not deserve to be happy, the voice that does not allow you to believe you can find the greatest fortune that exists. This voice is your greatest adversary." And I just think it's such a beautiful way to express how the way we speak to ourselves is very important. And the last thing that I think is very helpful in terms of not comparing yourself ties in with something I spoke about in a previous episode, which is to be bored. I go a little bit more into what this means in that episode, but to be bored is sitting with your thoughts, dream about what you want to do, how you're going to get there, how you're going to become who you want to be, or to do what you want to do. And so those are the three things I would say are very helpful in terms of when you catch yourself in a moment of self-comparison or feeling left behind in life. To recap, take note of your achievements, not the societal ones. They can be small, they can be silly. Yes, the big ones are important, but even the small and silly ones are important. Take a note of those things and watch how you speak to yourself. Negativity that you are constantly spewing on yourself can take away your magic. Lastly, be bored. Sit with your thoughts, sit with your ideas, plan out your dream self, plan out your dream future. You don't need to rebrand yourself. Why are you rebranding? This is beside the point, but maybe I'll make another video um talking about that another time. But like I always say, your life is worth living. Your life has so much meaning, so stop looking at other people's lives. Enjoy yours. Be proud of yours. And now, switch me off from your screen and go have a good morning, a good day, a good evening, wherever you are. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next video. Bye bye.